Afternoon or day yesterday. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. As we can see, overnight inventory is pretty balanced, I would say, maybe a little bit net short for the most part, but we are trading above the settle, or pretty much right at the settle now as we're writing this report. So it's pretty close. We did have some range extension to the downside in the overnight trading, but we have recovered and are trading back inside yesterday's value area. This is kind of letting us know that most likely we will see some chop early on. Where's Discord at? Morning, done. You got the day off today? Oh, jeez. Nice. Morning, Crypto Mojo. Morning, Adam. Yeah, so I mean, today we're pretty much looking below here, but not really getting acceptance. There is a buying tail that could act as support if the market does trade below. Remember yesterday we put in this poor low here, indicating that possibly selling shut off late in the day. We did get a little bit of liquidation, so it might have just been, you know, old business, I think, just liquidating down, and you had these shorter term time frame traders buying the market up. As we saw at the end of the day, pop this out, you got that kind of liquidation right at the end of the day to push the market towards those lows. So today the key, I think, is going to be really just seeing how the market acts at this poor low. If we get close down to that poor low and you start to see buyers step up and hold that poor low, then that's oftentimes telling us that there is a lack of supply and the market could be, you know, looking to continue to balance. As we're in this range today, we still have this rather large gap above, and it does look like we're possibly getting accepted inside balance. So we want to be on the lookout for that. I was about to sneeze. Oh, sorry guys, that came on quick. And so as the market is balancing, typically you'll see buyers at the lows, sellers at the highs. Yesterday we had kind of a failure to get accepted at higher prices. You really take a look at this. The market moved up into yesterday's value, failed to get accepted, and then traded lower, and then just pretty much ranged for the better part of the day for the most part. And then when we look at the overnight session, it's fairly similar. We're right at the overnight point of control for the most part, about, you know, point above it. We could estimate that overnight inventory is fairly balanced, and there shouldn't be much of a correction early on in this. So a little bit of backing and filling after that liquidation. Sellers moved in, and the big level that we saw yesterday was that 4160, where we look to find some responsive sellers selling above the point of control from yesterday. So a little responsive selling from that yesterday's profile. Today we have pending home sales coming out at was that 10 o'clock, and then at 10:30 we have the crude oil inventories, which I think could be a pretty decent market mover today, just because there's been a lot of talk about oil. You know, if we pop up oil over here in our chart, we can see oil, you know, still I mean, traded lower during Globex, but for the most part yesterday still trading above yesterday's close, right? So it traded up high and Globex all the way up to 95, and then sold off a little bit, but is now opening up and starting to catch a little bit of upside here early on. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar is continuing to rise, right, which brings in a little bit of weakness into the market most likely. We'll see how the dollar acts once the actual market opens up. You've got the Australian dollar coming down, the euro continuing to fall, Bitcoin kind of just bouncing around, not really doing much. Gold pulling back here a little bit below its low from yesterday, or below its close from yesterday. The Nasdaq actually looked a little bit stronger than all of the other sectors yesterday, so a little bit of buying going into tech. Remember today, I think we have Nvidia earnings. Where's the next one? Apple, not doing bad, had a little look below. These are those scam wicks that we were talking about when they dropped the bid to let a bigger size buyer get in. Remember, Apple's got they've got that event, the new iPhone release or something like that on the 18th of September, I think. So that could be a big catalyst for Apple. AMD here pretty much liquidated right at the end of the day yesterday. After starting off really strong, was unable to hold its lows. Got below that 93 level. We know that 93 level, that is that put call level. And a lot of times when the market gets below those levels, it will go in that direction. So it got below this put wall, ended up selling off, and you saw a bunch of momentum traders pile on. Didn't break the low of yesterday, but did push down right towards the end of the day. Amazon here, kind of the same idea. You saw Globex open up, a big move down to the downside, but has popped up since there. I'm gonna update this real quick. You can see it got right next to that put wall, and then people started to cover. So I don't think people are really selling the tech heavy, and that's why we didn't see tech really sell off yesterday. There's Google kind of doing the same thing. Same thing with Meta. Microsoft looked the weakest yesterday for the most part, but actually ended up closing, pretty balanced for the most part. See, Netflix just kind of looking like garbage. Nvidia leading into earnings today, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Yeah, 824. So after the market today. So Nvidia and probably a lot of the chip makers will maybe be a little bit more volatile. So if you're trading AMD or Micron or Nvidia, right? Remember, they've got earnings, and it can definitely kind of set the tone for some of those other ones. You can get a lot of sympathy there. Tesla here is doing their stock split on Friday, which is interesting. Remember last time they did a stock split, the stock dropped about 30%, so it was a pretty decent sized move after they split. Not saying that you should grab a piece of it now. It looked really strong kind of leading into the split, which is pretty typical. They're trying to probably get it to that 900 level because they're doing a 3-to-1 stock split, make it nice and easy to just bring it down to 300. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just skies past the 900 level, and I'll be looking to maybe pop into some shorts leading into that stock split. Will, good morning. Pop, good morning. How's the mic sound today? I had to reset all the settings. The settings got all fucked up yesterday, so I had to redo everything. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, pretty much today, just leading into today, is like, watch this poor low. If this poor low gets repaired during the cash session, that's pretty much going to let you know that there's going to possibly be some more downside, and we'll be looking. This old. I'll be kind of looking for this low here, which is at 4107.50, and then possibly this what's this? This is like 4112. So we do have this prior VPOC down here right below that poor low, which is like 21, which could be which could be a target here as well. So not much below that poor low, but I'll be watching like this 12 to 750 level as an area where you could see some possible buyers step up, right? We see the Globex session came down below this previous poor low, found some buyers, popped back up into range, and we're getting ready to start the session here in about 15 minutes. So interesting to see how it goes. I was looking for a truck today on like Auto Trader and stuff, and everything's super expensive, man. Morning, Uncle Stacy. Morning, Peter. Morning, Dr. VJ. Morning, Kevin. Now I lost my train of thought. I was about to type something in.
You're looking at trucks and they're super expensive.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. They're just super expensive unless you want to buy them cash.
Which is the only way you should be buying them.
Yeah, true. But they're overpriced, so it's kind of a waste of money. Cars in general are kind of a waste of money, really. Especially because my car mostly just sits in the driveway and doesn't do much. Morning, Tommy.
It's kind of sucks our society's set up where you almost need a car sometimes. You know, it's not like in Europe where you can't get away without it.
Yeah, true. So market's sitting right on that that VPOC from overnight. The fuck's the deal here? Oh, and just heads up, there probably won't be a stream tomorrow. We've got furniture coming tomorrow to the house, and then Friday we've got the rest of our household goods coming. So there probably won't be a stream tomorrow or Friday. So the Discord chat will be open, so I recommend everyone just jump in the Discord chat. I'll be in and out of the Discord chat as much as I can. But I don't know exactly what my schedule will be as far as where I have to be at during a certain amount of times. Great start to the week, Monday and Tuesday, fast trading. We'll take it easy. Yeah, best way to do it. If you start off the week really strong, there's no reason to risk it for the biscuit on Wednesday and ruin your week midweek. Market's getting right below that T2 low as well. That's another key that we want to watch. So if we're looking, we got Monday, Tuesday, and today we'll have Wednesday. So you've got these past 2 days. We got that liquidation during that overnight session, another liquidation here. So you had what I'm assuming is a lot of old business up here, kind of covering shorts. The market got emotional, liquidated down yesterday. Pretty much the same thing. All these longs that were trapped up here just started liquidating. if the market continues down and stays below this T2 low later on in the day today, there's a good opportunity for late day liquidation to happen. So just be ready for that. If we get lower prices today, not necessarily early on, but if we start to get lower prices late in the day, if price still stays, you know, kind of out of balance, we assume that this is maybe like a 2-day balance, right? If we start to get below that level, that's really kind of showing acceptance in this lower balance here, and a break of this 4112 or 4107.50 would really kind of indicate a push for this poor low or the balance low at 40.80 half. And those are going to be kind of the keys. It is an interesting nuance that the half back of yesterday was basically exactly at the value area high. That's kind of telling us, you know, it just seems fairly mechanical. The difference is when you get people selling off of a half back, that seems like a fair price, right? If we're halfway through the price for the day, they typically will tend to sell off that price. They find it as a fair price that they're willing to move down and get competitive at. All right, we saw them initially move down to that 41.60. So in reality, I'd really like to see the market get above that 41.43 half before, you know, before really getting aggressive on any longs, and then still be aware of that 41.60 above for more selling to come in. Dr. VJ, how long are you gonna fast for? Fasting is so good for you. From last night until tomorrow, no food or water. Who's active in the Discord? There's a lot of people active in the Discord during the day. During the night, I'm not really sure. I'm not really on the Discord during the night. Remember, about 30 minutes after the open, we get the new home sales. That's, you know, that could be a pretty decent market moving event. We had existing home sales yesterday, and they were not great. Bad news yesterday pretty much all day. PMI data was bad as well, so be interesting to see how the data comes out today, and we'll see what the market brings, really.
It was weird. It didn't seem like it actually had a huge effect, which was
Yeah,
surprising.
I was in and out yesterday with the internet. Did it actually go down, or what happened with it?
It kind of just ranged. I
number?
didn't see it.
Actually,
you mean the numbers from the
after
yeah,
after the data came out, the market actually went up a little bit. And then, you know, it tried to continue going up during C period, and then that's it. Then it just lost its steam, ran out of buyers completely, and then pretty much seemed that we got old business just liquidating for the better part of the day yesterday. Jason, what's up, man? LFG, get this big bag today. Another key nuance too that I want to point out, or something that I've been paying attention to, is if we look at Bitcoin, right? Typically Bitcoin's been kind of a leader, but we really haven't seen Bitcoin move much. So here's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday just basically balancing so far, whereas the market's pretty much been heading down, value overlapping to lower pretty much every single day, and Bitcoin just kind of still remains, you know, within its balance. So a key here, probably you could put an alert right here at this low. That would kind of give us a little bit of insight. You know, if Bitcoin breaks down below this level, you'll probably get a test of that 2,700 or 20,700. And then if it breaks up above this high here, you'll probably look to test somewhere out here in the middle. Probably here. But it's interesting, you know, the market's been trading down, but you've got this risk-off asset of Bitcoin not really moving much, just kind of settled. So maybe indicating a little bit of strength, maybe indicating they're gonna drop the hammer. Who knows? Tomorrow morning being this time right now. Yeah, tomorrow morning, like around like 9 o'clock, 9:30. So I think the US 10-year continues up and breaks the resistance. I give the upside for the ES market context. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let's look at the daily. So we can see interest rates, the 10 years are on the rise again. If you guys remember from a long while back, we had been tracking the 20 level, and then we had talked about this 26 level being a level where, you know, if it gets above, it could start to be really dangerous for the market. JB, good morning. And you know, now we're starting to continue climbing, which isn't great. We've got this climbing, and we've also got the dollar, you know, back to the highs, looking to push up to the all-time highs again today. So yeah, really really, I don't know, to me it typically we should get an inverse of one or the other, but you've just been on this rise of the dollar, rise of the interest rates, and the market was going up. So there's just so much kind of going on, and there's no real given direction, right? It's the market's just been kind of crazy lately as far as doing what it's supposed to do versus what's actually happening, like in the market or in the world. There's not really oh shit. Cancel. Like the correlation factors that we normally are able to track are not as I don't want to say they're not relevant, but they're just not as important or not as reliable. There's the word, not as reliable as others. Question: we had 2 days where value pretty much overlapped. Can you compose a profile with Monday and Tuesday together on Sierra? Yeah, you can. Yeah, if I just want to merge it. Yeah, it still puts like that chunk here, that halfback. That 41.43 is going to be an important level for sure. We've got about 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and wrong window, play some Reveille. All right, we are ready, motivated. Got about 2.5 minutes until the market opens. Now's that time to lock in your trade plans and be ready to execute. Dan said, looking for Tesla and Amazon calls today. Bull flags everywhere. Yeah, I could see. I mean, like I said, Amazon looked pretty strong, and it looked like it no one was really willing to sell down Amazon yesterday as it got down to that put wall. We're getting a little bit of selling early on in Amazon pre-market right here, but and then Tesla has that split coming up too, so got about 2 minutes. Market may open up on a gap. We're only about a point above the low, two points above the low. So if it does open up on a gap, remember we're gonna have to apply some gap rules. the gap's going to be pretty small, but if it did open up on a gap, I don't imagine it would be very big. We could see Amazon really kind of pushing down here early on. I already played it. Sorry, Adam. Yeah, I played it. All right, 30 seconds. Get ready. See the triple Q's coming down here a little bit in pre-market, but not too crazy. There's the open. Look to see if this poor low gets repaired right away. I think failure to repair this poor low right away is going to show a bit of weakness early on from sellers. And then, you know, you'll probably get a test of that 41.43. We're opening up inside yesterday's range, right? So that's showing a little bit of balance. That's indicating that the market's probably going to be a bit choppy here early on. So just kind of let it digest. Look to see if they go down and repair this poor low, and look for the reaction at that poor low to see what happens, right? So if we get that poor low and you see some volume coming below, that's going to be a go with situation, and you'll be looking to trade down to like the 41.12. Back and forth across the open here, and a failure to break that poor low early on here, I think, is going to show a little bit of weakness from these sellers. So let's see what we get. Look at the sectors, pretty mixed. The breadth is also pretty mixed. Healthcare selling down pretty big here. Industrials looking pretty weak. Staples looking pretty weak. Energy's looking weak. Everything's looking kind of weak after the open here. So you're starting to see things pretty close to red or already red. Big eye on tech here. Apple's holding on just barely. Counts are 2 and 82. So looks like not a lot of counts coming in. So maybe another low volume day. And that was a low volume day yesterday, which is why I kind of assume that it's a bit of old business coming in as far as the selling that happened. I think a lot of it was just covering or liquidating those old longs. I didn't really see a lot of new money selling yesterday. Back and forth across the open again, so more indecision here. Got on a put, AMD, about will likely get a next candle. See Apple trading back down below its low. Tech is looking like it's going to flip to red here. Exit financials just flipped red. Communications really the only strong sector left here. Up about 0.23, but other than that, everything else is looking pretty weak. Yes. So there's the look below that poor low here. So the key here, as it's repaired, is to look to see if we get some volume and look for that continuation, right? If there is volume coming in down here, get that continuation. We shouldn't break back above the open, and this thing should be looking down until the 41.12, which is that prior low. Good stream as always. Market feels a bit nervous as probably prospect of continued rate hikes by the Fed. Yeah, I kind of think I think, Jonas, that they're kind of just weighing on their decision, right? I think they're gonna walk a tight line. You're seeing Kashkari yesterday with the negative statements as well. Most of the Fed, besides Powell, has been kind of dishing out negative statements, saying that the market, you know, is overvalued and things like that. We're seeing a lot of news out of Saudi Arabia say that oil is underpriced as well, which could, you know, not be great for the market. Oil's catching a bid today here right off the bat. So, you know, that's kind of what I think maybe just leading this downside. And you may just see something that the Feds have talked about is that the what's it called? What's the word? That that they don't want to rule out the possibility of a 75 basis point rate hike, right? Everyone's kind of pricing in this half or quarter point rate hike, and then everyone is actually kind of pricing in what seemed to be a my fucking brain is not even working today. Rate cuts, right? They kind of expected some rate cuts here early on, but you know, not really getting it as much as they expected. They said that they'll look to pause, or they'll look to, you know, continue to look at rates. So look at the volume coming in right on yesterday's low. Market gets above it. We didn't break the open on the first look, traded back down a little bit. Look to see if they hold the open. If they give up that open, that's not great for continued downside. So it didn't break the open again. Right at that poor low, more volume coming in. Yeah, of course, Jonas. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think people are kind of, I really think people just don't know what's going to happen, and that's why the market's not really doing much at all these past couple of days, besides liquidating slowly. I think that we've got some old money just kind of getting out of some of these longs. They got a little bit overzealous, as we saw with with the move on the upside, right? I think they got trapped a little bit long. If you look at that COT report, it does look like institutional money got a little bit too long, and they kind of paid the price over the weekend. A lot of bad news that came out over the weekend. And then I think really they are in that zone where they really don't know what's going to happen, and so from there they're kind of just basically in like a holding pattern, just trying to wait or figure out what the deal is going to be. And until the Jackson hole, which is Friday, when we get Powell back on the mic, they're pretty much just, kind of positioning themselves even on both sides. Look at Apple just getting fucking smacked here. Gonna be tough really for the market to rally if Apple doesn't turn around, I think. Got put count, bought get into a put. Relatively low volume over the last couple of days as possible reason for old money to jump out of their longs. I think the downside was caused by old money, right? So I think you got this initial, gap down, old money starts selling, or like larger money starts selling, maybe the entrance of a bigger, larger term seller. And then that's why we kind of put in this little B shape. Momentum sellers piled on, market kind of gap down, leaving that excess here, or leaving that distribution here. And then the next day, right, or yesterday, basically the same idea. You just had old money just liquidating their position. And if we look back, we're pretty much right inside that old balance area. So you're seeing people take profit. They got some profit up here, and now they're just taking some leverage off the table. So imagine if you took one long every single day since this day here. Let's just say, right, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's say you took one off here, so now you've got 10, 9, 8, 7. So now you're back in the same spot, but you've taken some off. You took some profit up here, but you've still got 7 on. And as the market kind of does what it does, if we don't see buyers show up, then maybe take some more off, get down back to a neutral 5. Right, and that's just like an archaic explanation, I know, but that's just kind of how I am kind of viewing it, I guess. The market's back up above the open here, kind of a look below yesterday's low, and found a little bit of buying, a little bit of short covering came in on that 41.22. And that was really unfortunate, as far as to get some continuation. It just looked weak. They didn't get any follow through, and you see Apple kind of catching a bid after looking below its Globex low here as well, and that was below its low from yesterday. Oh no, not quite below its low from yesterday, so Apple didn't break the previous low. And same thing with the Nasdaq. This is the kind of thing that is that's really kind of holding me hopeful, I guess, or kind of holding me from not just, why is it showing, oh, there we go, holding me from just closing my eyes and getting short, because we can see, oh, it prepared that poor low, but the triple Q never broke that open period low yesterday all day, whereas the ES did. Right, here's the ES. We see the F and the G is the low. This is the A low on the triple Q. And if we look at where's the Dow? We look at the Dow from yesterday. Switch this to 30 minutes. Right, the Dow pretty much traded down all day, had that same poor low as the ES, and then the same thing with the Russell. Right, same idea. Here's that A open, it broke it, put that poor low in, and then held. The Russell's starting to catch a little bit of a bid here, but nothing insane. You're starting to see tech possibly catch a little bit of a bid. Healthcare still looking really weak. This consumer discretionary is really strong after checking back below its open. So consumer discretionary and communication services kind of driving this thing up. I think if we see the tick start to get above, or not the tick, the tech get above the 0 level here, could really see a little pop. And I've changed the advanced decline, or the weighted sector advanced decline, to 5 minutes, just so we can get an early on indication here. I'll change it back to the 15 minutes once we start to get some movement. I think it'll be a little bit better sometimes on the 5 minute when we get more chop. So that point of control just kind of back and forth there, basically bouncing off the open. A lot of volume coming in on that open there. 42 contracts traded on that top tick so far. Top tick looks, pretty mechanical. A lot of selling on the settle, a lot of buying on the open. So really tight range here. You know, you've got a 10-point range to start the day. Watch Apple. If Apple flips to green, this thing could really start to gas. Meta's green, Netflix is green, Tesla's green. You know, Tesla's gassing here too. Really kind of running up above that 900, which is what we expected. I kind of want to start looking for a short on Tesla as it gets up to that 928. If it gets up to that 928 today, I am going to grab some puts on Tesla to carry into Friday. In at 135 Amazon calls. End of week. What'd you pay for them? Damn, you're gonna hold those into Friday, huh? Brave man. Ooh, VLTA. Is Jared in here? VLTA is down close to that 180 mark where I was gonna buy some. He's not in here. More shares. Got him for 105. Nice, good shit, bro. I was just looking at him. So the target up here really for these buyers is that 43, right? That's where we kind of saw, you know, I don't even think yesterday was really just a lack of buying. I think it just ran out, right? I think that there was just nobody really willing to trade at those prices, and then the move down really kind of just looked like a liquidation of old business. So yesterday, to me at least, really just like looked like old business for the most part all day. Back to the open, back to the settle. See the tick coming down here a little bit. The breadth looks okay. Healthcare's actually making a pretty decent move up, but tech is not doing well, and that's just purely related to Apple just getting its dick smacked. A lot of volume came in on this open, so look to see if these buyers are really willing to step up and buy this thing again. If this thing breaks back below the open, you'll probably look to test that poor low at least again. We're right at that T2 low here. You're seeing a little bit of selling right off that T2 low. So it came down to the open. Some buyers stepped up, seeing a little bit of selling off that T2 low, but it does look like they're still catching a little bit of a bid here. Not able to hold that T2 low yet. It doesn't look like. What?
They do look.
Back to that T2 low here. Look to see if these sellers flip. They sold the T2 low, and look to see if they just buy it back here. Shorter time frame traders are right there. They're like goldfish. They swim around the bowl and they're like, oh, let me just get out here. And they sold it. It didn't work, so they decided to hit the reverse button and buy it. Apple's coming back to life here too, so this thing may get a little bit of a paparuski. Tech is still fairly weak. AMD's getting crushed, down 1%. Microsoft trying to come back here. Nvidia's down 1.3, so Nvidia's getting smacked as well. Back down. Excuse me. Oh, back down that T2 low. Coming back down to the open here. Not looking bad for a morning upside. Still holding. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not terrible, that's for sure. Yeah, if Amazon pops really, if Amazon pops this 135, you'll start to see Amazon just start to rally hard, I think. Still doing okay, Amazon is, but Apple really is just kind of the driver here and not participating in any upside yet. If Amazon goes to 138, you'll get paid. That's a pretty big move. But yeah, if it gets above 138 or 135, it'll probably go easily 138, I think. Buyers trying to come in up here. So they trapped them below that T2 low, it looks like. Looks like we've got some sellers really trying to kind of battle over this T2 low, this 3150 level that it keeps going. Up 420, time to lighten up. Nice. Amazon's flipped to green. Google's still kind of weak. Meta's looking strong, up 0.5. Microsoft kind of dancing around the break-even level. Tesla's still looking really strong, up to 905 here. Apple really the only thing that's kind of holding the market down here. Like I said, I think if Apple turns around, healthcare's almost back to green. Look at the sectors here. We've got a lot of green showing. So, you know, if Apple does flip to green, I think this thing could pop. And your target to the upside would be that, I mean, Globex high, which is 42, but 43.5 is yesterday's half back. That's really the target there. Not getting enough steam though. Just kind of, I mean, pretty mixed. Amazon's catching a little bit of an offer. Did I hear 420 time to light up? Yeah, that's what Dan said. Dan said he's up 420 time to light up. Yeah, really just, I mean, trying to find the decision here, but this is just really choppy. Hard to decide to get into a trade or not here. Apple getting smashed down on its lows here. Tech really pushing down, but down 0.32. Healthcare's even healthcare just kind of just chilling, just struggling a little bit. Financials coming back down. Ooh, tech getting heavy. Yeah, tech's getting hammered here. So the open. Yeah, it is. That's really what it is. It's just Apple. You know, a lot of the market is getting bid up. You're right. It's just Apple. And you've got to figure like some of our chip makers here, like AMD getting smashed, Nvidia getting smashed, right? Nvidia's got earnings, so you figure a lot of people are probably, you know, cutting some of their position leading into earnings because they don't know what Nvidia is going to say. So, and with all the global tensions going on, especially with, you know, I think it was somebody who was saying that they want to invade Taiwan, could be a mess. Said call counts are like 25% or so, 22 to 44. So pretty light volume still here leading into the day. Remember, we've got some economic data coming out at 10 a.m. as well here. The new home sales, I believe. Let's see, investing.com. Pending home sales, excuse me, 3 minutes. I think the big driver today really is going to be 10:30 when we see those crude oil inventories. If they're light on the inventories, I think that this market could really catch some more downside. Helps the decision process. Sometimes it does, that's true. Dan, if today's the day it starts caring about data. You never know, if it comes out bad, market probably shoots up for a little bit. 1 minute until the data comes out here. Or actually about 2 minutes, but Nvidia's back above its open here. That making quite the bounce. Communications really the strongest sector today. Up 0.6. So another look below the open and then a pop. Peep Amazon on the 5 minute. Amazon doing strong, yeah. Yeah, one time framing up on the 5-minute about the breakout. Look at Apple on the 5-minute. It's like the opposite. Just getting shit on. AMD's trying to catch a bid. Yeah, a little poor low action down there on the 5-minute. Look at the tick for the most part. You know, looks more like profit taking here, and starting to see these weighted sectors look like they're wanting to flip up to the upside. Like I said, I think, you know, all eyes, we just got to watch Apple. Apple's really the key today. If Apple breaks above the open, you've got all these people selling the open on Apple. If it breaks above the open and gets above that 167, you're going to have to see people start to buy Apple in order to hedge against these puts that they're short. So you're going to have to see them, not going to have to, but probably will see them buy some of these positions back, to be honest with you. Let's see if Apple's going to break its previous 5-minute high. B period opens up. Are we going to get some range extension? We do. Oh, okay, okay. Good boy. Warden. Warden. Come on, come here. He fucking hates just the male people. Look at that bid that just showed up. There's a 500 bid sitting on 31.75. Okay, go lay down. See that 500 bid sitting on that 35. Well, that could be what it needs to this continuation. Globex high is at 42. Yesterday's halfback 43.5. We've got that weak spot on the profile here sitting at 32.5. Basically right above that T2 low. So all those people that shorted that T2 low looks like they might be getting smacked. Weighted AD's flipped to green. And a lot of times when you get a weighted AD that flips early like that, Peter Resnicek says that's something definitely you want to look out for, as it can often indicate early reversal. Imagine trying to break in the house and you hear that. You're just like, oh fuck, I fucked up. You know what I mean? You're just like, oh shit. And then if you still break in and you hear that, like, gotta be some brave ass motherfucker. Pending home sales is out. Forecast was -1% or -4%, excuse me. Actually came out 1%. So a positive report, and the market trades down. What a shock. Previous was 0.89. So there's actually a lot more pending home sales going into this previous month than last month, and then they forecasted even less. So it's actually a beat. So actually good news. Weighted ADs flip back to positive, or flip back to negative here. Call counts flip, damn, 100 to 19.
I wonder if that was because there was more inventory available for them to buy. Because inventory's been pretty low for a while.
Yeah, that's true. And there was a lot of there was a lot of cooling off period too when they initially started raising interest rates back in March. You got to think about your average consumer is not really informed, and so they just watch the news and they see that, oh, interest rates are up, it's not a good time to buy a house, so I'm not going to buy a house right now. Now if they could just make big dogs, they don't leave piles of crap. Warden actually, like the backyard is like all bamboo, like basically lined, like the whole backyard's like lined with bamboo, and he goes like deep in there and just shits back in there. So it's just like fertilizes the ground. The bamboo's like, you know, it's like 10 feet tall and thick as fuck. So I'm not climbing back in there to get it. It's just not gonna happen. Back to even call counts and put counts. Where's the VWAP? VWAP sitting right at 27 here. So interesting economic data causes the market to trade back through after getting that little pop, and now we're getting close back to that poor low here. Oil's still up, about 0.64, so oil's still doing strong. Watching Apple here. Apple's breaking its low. AMD's just getting crushed, breaking its low. Amazon really kind of has flipped around, trading back down towards that 133. It caught a little bit of a pop. I thought it would get up all the way to 135. If it gets above 135, this thing's going to really start to rip, but we'll see. Tesla's still doing okay. Sad day. Really just kind of sitting in the meat of the Globex session here, not really doing any exploration above or below. You can see the volume of Globex basically is the high and the low of today, right? Couple ticks on both sides, but nothing really exploratory as the market just kind of balancing lower so far. You've got value overlapping to lower at this point. Tesla's still catching a little bit of a bid. Dollar's still climbing here. Russell's the only thing that's green for now. Nasdaq is right at its open here, kind of the same as the ES right here, right at the open for the most part. The Amazon back to even, back to yesterday's close. Meta's actually looking pretty decent. Google trying to turn around here. Key is just Apple. Really, if Apple just keeps getting sold off, this market's going to have a tough time pulling up. You know, Apple is, what's the weight on Apple? Apple's about 7.3% of the S&P 500. It will not be faked out. This thing looks good. It does. It does. Like, I mean, it does look like it wants to go up. That's for sure. Like, if we talk about, something Jim Dalton always talks about, like, what is the market doing, and is it doing a good job, right? So the market's trying to go up, and I would say, for the most part, it is doing a good job. We're just having a really tight range. We'd like to see a breakout naturally, but it's just, it's struggling here to get there. Microsoft not doing the market any favors as well. The second heaviest weighted stock, also looking like a pile of shit as well. Yeah, once people stop selling Apple, Dan, yeah, you'll probably Adam, good morning. And remember, in about 23 minutes, 22 minutes, or 20 minutes, I guess, we're gonna get those oil inventories, and I think that could be a really important catalyst today. I really do, just because of how much it's been in the news. Not like the news, the other news, the real news. Back above that T2 low here. Sellers came in last time, offered that 34.50. Look how you're seeing volume start to move up here. The profile looks really similar to it did yesterday early on, where we got A, B, and then C period bumped up to the upside, and then ended up losing momentum and coming back down. Offer came in on the 34 again. Let's see if they absorb this. Biden's setting a delay on student month repayment here. Seller's really trying to hold this 34. So what we'll watch for here is if the market holds the 34 and starts to get above, we're going to look for this liquidation break, and we'll probably see some shorts come out here. Some short covering, right? Some stops. Yeah, they're really trying to offer this 34 level. Stick to the fucking thesis. It's just nobody wants to step up here. You're seeing the offer step up at 34, basically kind of telling the buyers like, hey, if you want to sell this thing, or if you want to buy this thing, I'm right here. I'll sell it to you. But the buyers are just kind of unwilling right here to step up, it looks like. Still just sitting on this 34. So this is going to be a key level. This is one of those levels that we want to write down, right? 34. It's going to be a level that we probably pay attention to for the rest of the week. Financials, look at that. Financials are flipping green here. Healthcare is almost back to green. Even tech is trying to turn it around. I'll be able to try a nice long here from 34, stop 31.5, 31.25, target that 42, 43.5. I already got faked out once, down 20 points. Damn. Were you short or long, Jason? Okay, okay, okay. Starting to see some buying. Immediately followed by selling. Cutting winners early, getting stopped to break even on the winners I hold. I've had enough. You were short. I think I was super sane. I think we've got some opportunity here. Yeah, I mean, look at that 34 level. It just, you know, they're fighting it, and you're not seeing that that continuation yet, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't look like necessarily like it's over. It just looks like they're being a little bit more patient with it. Somebody call Warren Buffett. They're like, yo, Apple's on sale, bro. Buy some more. He owns like, I don't know, like 12% of Apple or some shit. He owns a ton of Apple.
So define what a good job is. You're talking about the market doing a good job. What do you think a good job is?
So right now we can pretty much see that the market's trying to go up, right? Every time it ticks down, it comes right back up. So even in B period, it came back down below the open and then came right back up above the open. So today it looks like, and we've extended up to the upside on A period, right? So it does look like the market is trying to go up. The key here is that if it keeps failing and failing and failing and failing, especially not to break over this 35 where you see all these offers coming in, that would be telling us that the buying is just not going to be enough, and it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. To me, it does look like it is doing a decent job and it's doing a good job. It's really just a matter of like perception, you know what it's hard to really put a concrete definition on is it doing a good job. Typically you can define it at the end of the day, right? So like yesterday, the market was for the most part trying to go down, right? We traded down, traded down, traded down, traded down. Didn't do a good job going down yesterday, but it did. That was the attempted direction, right? Values overlapping to lower, put in a buying tail or a selling tail at the top, excuse me, and pretty much every time it got up, it got sold off. So people were selling rallies all day yesterday. Shorter time frame traders selling rallies, and most of the bouncing was just long term buyers liquidating their positions, right? So selling. So momentum traders couldn't get this thing past the low, telling me that they weren't doing a very good job selling. And so today, when we're looking at it, we can't really define it right now, but it does look like they're buying or trying to buy. And at least for right now, they're doing a decent job because we're getting this extension to the upside, right? A B period has surpassed the A high. Let's go. Just rip this thing already. Watch for this 40 here. 40 has an offer on at 300 lots. That's the only reason I say that. But really, we're targeting this Globex high here in this 43.50, so. Oof, big seller sitting up there. So decent reaction right there from that seller. Watch the 40 level. 40 was where that big offer was sitting at. I got backticked on that. I'm out. I'm flat right now, guys. I got backticked on that position, unfortunately. I moved up my stop to fucking 41.40 after we popped above it, and that thing just came right back down and just took me out. So not a bad first trade here. We got long at the 34. Took a little bit of heat. Took it off 38, 38, 39.75, and 40. Not too bad of a first trade, really. Apple, look at Apple, though. I mean, if Apple goes green, you're seeing tech flip green. Look at everything. The breadth on the NASDAQ's 3-1. The NASDAQ looks strong. If the Q can get above this 314 level, that's a put level. And so you start to see people buy tech to hedge. It just looked like we ran into a seller there again at that same spot that we've seen resistance. And that Globex high, right? B high is mechanical. Eight minutes until the oil inventories come up. Apple, get your fat ass off the ground. Call counts are now 98 to 36. Are you still holding that AMD put, or did you close it? Almost got down to my call level. This is 97.
No, I'm gonna let the bot play out.
Okay.
It's done. It does pretty well with this kind of stuff, so I'm just gonna let it do its deal.
Yeah, I'd like to start buying some AMD here down at 90.73, but didn't quite get down there.
We'll see where it ends up. So far, I'm only slightly underwater. Yeah, I'm only 5% down.
Oh, it's not bad.
So I'll let it play out.
Let me look at I have those September calls for AMD. I'm not sure how they're doing right now. Probably worthless after yesterday. Yeah, they're down to $32. I'll be right back, guys. About 5 minutes until those oil inventories come out. So if you're in a position, right, just be careful when those come out. I think they can move the market today. Uh-oh. Apple's getting back to its open. Tech is flipped green. Barely up here. Everything's green except staples, and staples are looking like they're trying to come back to green here as well. Look at that advanced decline really starting to climb here. A lot of buying going on. If they get past this seller that was up here, you might see some movement. We're inside that value area from yesterday and looking to break up above the high. Let me look at the volume overall though. Doesn't look like volume super strong. Another big seller at that 40-50 level. Volume is about 13% less than yesterday, so pretty low volume to start that A period off. Look at the weak spot in the profile as well here. Below this 37 level. So failure to get back below that 37 level, you'll treat this as a double distribution. And we've got 4 minutes and it's looking like there's going to be some single prints opening up here. Counts are 98 to 36. A lot of buying coming in on this 40 here. Counts are now 44 to 47. So a big drop in counts. A lot of volume probably pulling out of the market here leading into this oil inventory report. Typically on a low volume day, it shows a lack of supply and the market can kind of just squeeze up. Weekly VWAP's up at 41.47 here. Right up to that half back. Profit taking, it looks like. Yep. Apple coming right back up to its open here. Remember, we had a lot of selling on the open for Apple. If Apple pops its open, this thing could really start to gas. Look at all the volume coming in on that 43. Looks like it's getting, I mean, to me, it kind of looks like just profit taking up there. The bot did a 3 candle buy.
Yeah, it's hedging or averaging in, as Jared would put it.
Pretty aggressive selling down here at this below this 40. Here comes C period. Let's see what we get. So we've got some single prints below. So we've definitely got some trap shorts here. Down probably at the 34 is where everyone looked to get short. So if this thing pops this B top, we should see some stops come out, and then just monitor for continuation. Look at Apple, still not able to break above that open, but if it does, that's where we should see, a nice little run here. And on a break, so when we're watching this right here, what we're paying attention for, what we're looking for, is if this C does break, where's the impulse start from, right? So it's not just gonna, it's not always from this B high, right? We want to try to pay attention to the exact level or a relatively close level in between here that it pops up from. We know there's all this volume coming in on the 40, so failure to hold above the 40 probably takes us back down to that 34. But if it pops, let's say it pops from this 42, it pops, someone buys all those stops on the retracement, does that buyer come up above the 42 and start buying more? That's key sign for continuation to the upside. If not, you look for that rotation back down, and then you look to see if those buyers are being patient, waiting to get up there. Let me look at the oil inventories as they came out here. Market typically takes a second to digest that information. Got a reaction on oil here on the last 5 minutes. Came almost all the way back down to the open and then popped up. And oil trades $10 a penny. So where's investing? Oil inventories negative 3.282 million. Last month was negative 7 million. Expected was negative 0.9 million. So actually more or less supply in the market than it expected, which is, or more supply in the market than it expected, I guess. So could be good or could be bad for oil, good for the market. Dollar starting to downtick here a little bit as well, so that's another key thing. And then let's just add the TNX here, so we can, because that was a good call out by Double R. I haven't looked at the TNX in a while, but it's still breaking up. And that's typically bad for the market. Nvidia's coming back down here. Apple just couldn't do it. Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. So failure to break that high there tells us the story, right? And look for the 34, for the buyers to jump on to that 34 and buy up. If they don't, this thing, that's kind of telling right there. And if we get another reversal on the weighted AD and start to see some weakness in these sectors up here, that's not going to be great for the upside. I almost FOMO'd back in up there on that C, and I was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm just gonna wait. Nice first trade. Let's just wait it out, see if these single prints fill. If these single prints don't fill, then we've got some opportunity. Hang on a second, I'm about to have to whoop some ass, it sounds like. Curtis. But didn't close those single prints there. What are you guys doing up there? Yeah, chill it, because I can hear you. Sounds like you're about to come through the ceiling. All right. We're dancing. Still failing up here. Still got all of our eyes on Apple here. Tech still looks pretty strong here though. Look at the triple Q. And triple Q looks strong. A lot of volatility here though. It looks like, I don't know, it's hard to tell here with this inventory, but it kind of looks like shorts are covering their positions here. And they might be getting a little bit nervous. Saw a lot of buying right there on the 41. You're short, Jason? Oh, you got stopped out. And what how big's your stop? Where'd you get short at? Well, no more real economic news. Let me check the volume in that B period was 12% less, so still not a real big increase. We're getting close to seeing volume shift up as well, and we're gonna start getting overlapping volume or overlapping value for the most part. Tech is basically sitting right on the bubble here. Healthcare is coming down. The most recent high faked you out. Oh, you're trading the NQ, that's right. I forgot. Aggressive selling here, 36. Weak spot on the profile, 37.5 to 36.50. Offer moving down here. Biden doing some student loan forgiveness still. 20,000, which is, I feel like nothing. I feel like most people definitely, if they have student debt, it's more than 20K. Especially if they're in California, where it costs like 100 grand to go to school, at least.
I think it's funny that people that get mad, that they don't want people to have the 10K because they already paid off their school loans, so it's not fair to them. Like they can't just want good for other people. It has to be good for, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? People that are upset that they already paid their school loan off, so it's not fair that these people are going to get their school loans paid off. It's like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, though.
It
Right?
is, but
Because
it's like I got free housing in Utah. People get mad. Why didn't I get free housing? It's like, fuck, man. You can't want something good for other people just because you didn't get it.
exactly. That's the thing, is like, some people are fine with paying their taxes. Some people are like, no, I shouldn't have to pay tax.
Well, it's pretty hypocritical of Joe Biden to even he's the one that made these school loans where you go to your fucking deathbed with him. It's like the only thing you can't bankrupt. And that was all Joe Biden. So he's a little hypocritical on this deal. But in his own defense, he probably doesn't remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to think about these are politicians. They got to go with what's hot, what's hip.
Right.
Back then that was what was going on. Because they basically made it so anybody could get a student loan. Doesn't matter your credit, doesn't matter nothing, right? Anyone could get one. The only caveat was you can't get rid of it. Like if you get a student loan, yeah, we'll give it to you, but you're gonna fucking have that shit forever. Now everyone's like, well, shit, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to. I don't want it anymore. And then he's like, well, too fucking late. But now they're just doing like, oh yeah, here's some politics is pro wrestling. Yeah.
And the real truth is that they shouldn't need to be getting 80, 100, 200,000. I mean, this one the other day I was got chiropractor got $280,000 in school loans. $280,000. It's like what the? I mean, that's insane. And we don't have any states that are free. They should be. I mean, everybody's so okay with 0 through 12 being free. Like everybody's okay with that, but 12 through 16, that's just no, unheard of. No way, can't do that. That's impossible. It's like what? I don't know. That's just how I feel.
The thing is that trying to design a system that's going to please a 338 million person economy is almost an impossible task. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of people compare apples to oranges when it comes like, oh well, look at Finland does such a good job. Oh, look at Norway does such a good job. Yeah, well, there's like fucking 13 people there, and so it's a tough task to compare our problems with other, like, oh, look at Canada. Like, well, there's fucking nobody there either. And from a lot of people that I have friends that live in Canada, and they say the healthcare is shit. Yeah, it might be free, but I'll be first to tell you healthcare in the army is free too, and it's shit. I mean, if I didn't find out until 4 years later that I had broken my back, so that's how long it took me to get an MRI. They just kept putting me in physical therapy and put me in physical therapy and put me in physical therapy, and I'm just like, yo, my back fucking hurts still, and they didn't give a shit.
Yeah, but nobody in Canada's died from being declined healthcare.
I mean, that's what. There's no way to really know that for sure. No one that's been reported from dying from it. Hey, buddy.
True.
What are you barking at outside, huh?
Sure, I'm saying.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, we're getting to that point where it's so hard to really decide what to believe and what not to believe. Hey.
Well, I don't know how many people are flying to the U.S. to pay for healthcare and just get it free in their own country. Everybody says that happens. I can't imagine that.
Eventually over time, I think what will probably happen is the US will probably break up into separate countries.
Yeah, I can see that. Who's going to have the military though?
They'll have to form their own.
North of the South.
Somebody will want to own it all, though. I don't see it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that won't try to be the case, but somebody's going to want to own it all, and that won't happen. Somebody's not going to let it just like all separate. There's going to be a skirmishes. I won't call it a war, but there will definitely be skirmishes.
Oh yeah, I mean because there have to be formed militias and stuff in order to fight the military, and then really the only way that could happen, I think, where you get a separation of state would be if the Fed decided to back off of to basically dissolve their interest in the United States, right? And to be like, well, you guys are fucked. But as
I will
long
say
as
my brother. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say my brother in 1994. It was the first internet radio station that was big. It was a College Station, Texas. But he was trying to get a thing to have Texas succeed, and he got 300,000 signatures back in 1994. So there's definitely a want for it. You know.
well, if you ask a lot of Texans, they're not even
At least
part
in
of the
Texas.
United States, technically, right? If you ask a lot of Texans, they're still the Republic of Texas,
Right.
and they never rejoined the Union after the Civil War.
Well, we stole the land. You know. So we do.
As and I approve this message.
Nice. Are you in Texas now?
Yeah, I just moved here last month. Well, yeah, July.
We're in Texas.
Near Dallas.
Oh wow. Yeah, I went to high school in Dallas. It's a crazy place to live. Weird politics.
The quality of
I think
healthcare
it's
in
like
Canada is
Dallas, like
plummeting. Dyslexics. Yeah,
you
that's
can
how
drive
many-
for 6 hours in any direction. You're still in Texas.
I've been hearing that a lot of my buddies, they want to move to the States. A lot of my Canadian friends want to move to the States.
Really? Let's say they want to move to.
Florida.
At least Florida's very cryptocurrency friendly. At least Miami.
Gaston, thank you for the sub, my man. Appreciate it. Or woman. Gaston sounds like a man's name though, like a French man. Gaston. What is that? Beauty and the Beast, right? That's what you keep hearing. A lot of Canadians want to move down to Florida. 6851 call put.
For the weather.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's just like a nicer area, I guess. Like Florida's not bad.
I'm from South Florida. There's been Canadians here forever. They're not just coming down for the first time. You know, they've been, I mean, there's whole buildings where it's like in the summer, nobody's there because they're all Canadians that buy into the buildings. That's just normal flow of people.
Gaston, you are French. Let's go. What a call by me, huh? Sorry to stereotype you for sure, but that just sounds like a French name. Trading order flow? Good shit, bro. Glad to have you. Dyslexics looks like he's typing in French. I can't read it. But Gaston probably can. A lot of Canadians are French, right? Or they speak French. Reyes, good morning. They're called snowbirds because they're only here in the winter.
Yeah, we get a lot of snowbirds in Arizona.
The New Yorkers. Yeah, lying to the upside. C period didn't take that B high, but didn't take the B low either. So we're sitting at a, you know, you've got a plus 2 here, right? And then a +1 -1 here. So you're still sitting at a +2 as far as rotation factor. That's how that rotation factor works, right? TPO's above and below. You've got 45 above, 37 below. So you figure if there's 45 TPOs above, that should show that the selling is coming in. What we're looking for here is we're watching Apple and we're seeing if they do backing and filling in here, get above this 40 level where we've seen all that volume. Keep seeing the selling here, right? Which is pretty much looking to me like we're getting those, the selling is still coming from old business, right? You're seeing every time it gets up to a spot, these longer term buyers are like, all right, let me take some off the table here. Let me take some off the table here. Reasonable price, and it seems like that level is going to be a key level. Market pulled right back down to that T2 low, that C low. So I would say that C low is a bit mechanical for me, but not really watching it too heavy. As far as I'm really just watching this volume here to try to fill it in, and then that can give us the gas to continue up. A failure. Oh shit.
Script is a fun one. Not sure I'd want to code bots in it, but it's pretty powerful, or pretty capable anyway.
So you see if his bots are working?
So the tool on the left is called the market profile, Gaston. It's basically a graphical representation of a two-way auction process. And that's kind of how I look at the market. And most of us here are looking at the market. It is an order flow tool, right? Because we are tracking the volume. But mostly what we're tracking is value, right? A lot of people are trading price, and here we try to trade value and focus on value. So today, if we take a peek at this, right, we basically have overlapping value. Yeah, the value area low is a little bit lower than yesterday, but for the most part, value is overlapping, telling us that the market is balancing. And until we get some continuation to either direction, what that's telling us is that we want to be, taking profit or selling near the highs, right, when we're still in a downtrend long term, and then buying near the lows. So we're responsively trading, we're taking responsive shorts and responsive longs. Today, right, I've only taken a long trade, just the one trade so far. Should have tried the same trade again up at that 34, but didn't. But just, not really trying to go with breakouts today. I just don't think that there's much opportunity or really much reason to do that. But typically, every platform that you trade on should offer a market profile for the most part, unless you're on. Actually, I mean, a lot of them offer it. They may just offer it as an add-on for a lot of them. Yeah, so we track volume and time, right? Time is the regulator of all opportunity. So because the market opens up at 9:30 and closes at 4, that auction process, because the market is a two-way auction process, you think about an auction typically where you start at the bottom and everything goes up $1, $2, $3, $4, $5. But in this situation, the market, it goes back down. So you auction up until there's no more people buying. So today we auctioned up to 43.50. There was no more buyers. We immediately start the auction back down, and the auction could go 1 2 3 4 3 4 3 4 4 3 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 9 8 7 6, right? It could just go back and forth. It doesn't necessarily have to go up and then come down and then go up and then go down. It just goes until it finds the bidders and the sellers, or bids and offers. And that's kind of how we're looking at it. But yeah, I mean, definitely jump in the Discord. I'll post the Discord link for you in the chat. My uncle's in here, and he actually created a bot as well. So definitely opportunity to bounce some code off of each other.
There's the Discord channel. You told them about the Discord channel?
Yeah, there's a Discord channel called Codeland for all of you coders. We have a few coders in the Discord for sure. There's the link for the Discord. What's up? Yeah. Apple's still looking weak here, and that's really what's dragging the market down. You look at technology, information technology, just barely hanging red. But if we pull up the watch list here, you can see, switch it to here. The dollar is actually coming down here pretty decently, and then we've got bonds coming down as well. And then Amazon's green, really just Apple, right? Apple's red, just holding the market down, but Amazon's green, Google's green, Meta's green, Microsoft actually holding the market down here too a little bit, but for the most part, Microsoft is just kind of balancing, not really doing anything, definitely not trading low like Apple is. It's above its open. Nvidia, they've got earnings coming on, but they're still actually doing pretty well. We've got the 10-year is trading up. Tesla doing okay. Looking to try to break out here, possibly. And then, where's Netflix at? Netflix is doing pretty strong today, but maybe getting a bit overextended. So, like I said, I think the key here today is Apple. And to a look on that. Sakushi. I butchered your name, bro. Sorry. Suku. Yeah, I'm fucking terrible at names. But what's up, man? How's it going? As long as I can understand the business aspect of the process, I can implement anything with the technology. Yeah, definitely. And if you can start basing your bots, I'm not sure what your bots are based off of, but if you start to look at basing those bots to trade value instead of price, you know, a lot of indicators, and which is why we don't really use a lot of indicators, they're based off of price, and price is a lagging indicator for the most part. If you can try to understand where the value is going to develop. Oh, here comes the bots. If you kind of see where value starts to develop, you can kind of look to see where you can kind of imagine where developing value is going to go and base your trades off of that. Quite interesting to break down the process that you use to pick the asset you want to trade today. I mean, I trade the S&P 500 every single day, but sometimes I will jump into the options world and trade some options on some individual stocks. The reason that we watch all these stocks is because that's what makes up the S&P 500 with the ES futures, the S&P 500 futures. And so Apple being the heaviest weighted is basically, you know, what's going to be the key sign to give a breakout here. And you can see for the most part, pretty much every sector is looking green except for our two heaviest weighted sectors, and they're both just chilling right below the open. So as we're approaching this 40 level where we saw a lot of what I think was profit taking, we'll look to see if they're going to be taking profit there again, or if they're thinking that, you know, maybe some momentum trader is going to pile in and pile up. You trade futures, Brad? I thought you traded options. I do both, Jason. I've been mostly trading futures lately. I trade options on futures as well. So mostly futures, like futures and futures options. And then I've recently started getting into back into, I guess, a lot of stock options. But I think we have some opportunity here for some longer term swings. D periods opening up. So we're opening up kind of right in this weak volume area. Also watching that 37 area here. Or that weekly VWAP is up at 46.79. I imagine there's probably a seller sitting up there. On the 50, there's a seller in the 45. Tech catching a little bit of a bid here. seller's still struggling here, or I mean, buyer's still struggling here to get up above the 50. It looks like every time, or the 40, excuse me. It looks like every time we get up to the 40, you're just seeing profit taking. All these longs just, you know, slowly start to get out of the market. Call counts are climbing 50 to 6 right here. Apple's on its way down here though. Tech is still red. Healthcare is still red. You're seeing a little bit of cooling off here. So really tight range today. We're looking at what 43.50 is the high and 21.50 is the low. About a 20-ish point range here. So Apple puts in a new low for the day and then starting to catch a little bit of a bounce here. Healthcare is looking pretty strong for the most part. Looking like it wants to get up there back above the even level. What's this? Allegiant Technologies? How the fuck did that get on my list? So somebody's still sitting on the offer here for Apple. We continue to see them struggle throughout this day. The key to get this upside to continue to go, or what can convince us that the market still wants to go up, would be to hold these levels down here, this 34, and start to fill in some of this volume. Remember, we've got a low volume day for the most part, so as long as you don't get too far of a retracement back below this a half pipe that we like to call it, there should still be some upside. We haven't had a cessation of one time framing yet, and value is just overlapping. You start to see value start to build above yesterday's point of control here as well. Basically that D low is almost right on yesterday's point of control, and the C halfback making it a little bit mechanical. Now we've got a D low that's mechanical and a C low that's mechanical. Failure to break those would really show us a lack of supply and kind of give us an opportunity to get a trade to the upside here. Quick general question. I'd love to have your opinion about something that bugs me conceptually, as I can see you skim through assets of the S&P in order to have the best grasp of current trends. What's the other question? Yeah. Do you think some markets can be traded only based on data that contains, or on the opposite, that any successful trading strategy should also rely on external data like human analysis? I think, yeah, I think that there's always going to be, I think that, here's the best way to put it, right? A lot of people believe in a efficient market theory. There's a theory out there that markets are efficient and they price stuff in and blah blah blah. I don't buy into that. And my reason being is because if the market was efficient, there wouldn't be any opportunity, right? So I don't think that there is a way necessarily that you can design something that's gonna win all the time, because unless it's factoring in, you know, X, Y, and Z, and L and J and K, and I mean, there's just no way for it to factor in, right? A lot of people that you'll see like on Twitter and stuff, they'll be like, "Oh, fucking algos, you know, they did this or whatever." That's just sore losers, in my opinion. You know, I'm not an expert. I've never worked on the floor, so you know, it's just, to me, the biggest thing about the market and the way that I trade is I trade psychology. That's what I study. That's why I focus on in here is market psychology. I think it's the biggest factor in the market. I don't think that any robot is going to be able to factor in human emotions, right? And the reason that we trade value in here is because that's what plays off of the emotions of these larger traders, right? And so basically what I'm trying to find out is, what are the short-term traders doing? Like, who's in control of the market, right? Today, obviously, we've got some short-term traders in control of the market. We saw a longer-term trader enter the market responsively below yesterday's low. That poor low got fixed. We saw a responsive buyer show up, and that's what propelled the market to the upside. So now it's basically in the hands of a shorter time frame trader to decide, okay, I want to keep buying this market up. I'm going to keep buying this market up. What happens is every time we get up here above this 40 level, it looks like this longer term trader's taking some off the table. So, you know, if they continue to get out of the market, that puts a lot more offers in the market, and the market can start to retrace. But if, you know, if it was possible, or if it was purely computer traded, like a lot of people say or think, all these algos, they're like, oh, this is algo trading right here, there wouldn't be really any opportunity for you or I. There wouldn't be really any need to trade, right? You would just be able to be like, oh, the market's trending up, let me just get in the buy, all the algos are buying. Eventually someone would catch on to what all the other algos are doing, and then they would just do the same thing and just go with the trend, right? And so I don't think any algo is typically gonna, it's just not going to be able to account for human emotion. Because if I like this price, let's say I like 4140, and the way that I like to teach this is, think about a computer monitor, right? Especially because most of us are trading on a computer monitor here, and I'm selling computer monitors for 4140, right? I think that's a fair price for me to sell a computer monitor, and I think someone was probably going to buy it, and I want to look for it to trade lower, right? I want to look, because I think, you know, this is probably the high. And this is hypothetical. I'm not getting short 4140. But I think that, you know, the market's going to trade back down, and, you know, I think 4125 was a better price to see buyers, and so that's where I'm going to buy my computer monitor back, is down here 4125, and I'll get to make the difference in here, right? But for you, you know, some people are thinking, oh, 4140, I like that level. And then, you know, let's say a lot of other people are like, oh, I like 4140. And then all of a sudden the market trades up, right? And comes up to 4150. And now these people feel like, oh shit, I just missed out on a deal. Well, let me just grab something that's not that much higher. I'm going to buy 4150. And then the market continues up, right? Because all these people that missed the deal down here FOMO into 41.50, and then the market continues higher, 41.60, right? Then all of a sudden, big time seller comes in and says, "Oh, here finally, I've been waiting to sell these TVs at 41.60. Let me sell them at 41.60," and then the market starts to trade back down. Okay. Well, these guys that got in at 41.50, they're still holding these computer monitors or TVs or whatever we're calling them here, and they're telling themselves, "Yeah, this is a good deal." Okay, now it trades below 41. Now it's at 41.45. And so some of these people that are at 41.50, when we call them weak hands traders, they're going to jump out, right? They're like, "Oh, fuck, I'm going to take a loss." And they'll start to liquidate their position. But some of these people that were at 41.40 and 41.50 are like, "Fuck, I'm buying some more. I like this price down here." And those are those larger time frame traders that buy in an area. And so if we can identify where these weaker handed traders are trading from, and like I said, I think that most of the selling up here was this longer term buyer taking profit, counting on or just waiting for these momentum traders to pile in at the top. I don't really think this is long term selling, right? Long term selling is up here in this gap, right? There's a huge gap up here above. And there's another gap up there at the 64, a smaller gap, but there's a big gap. That's excess. And that's the key thing is when we zoom this out, you can kind of see that's where the entrance is. So momentum traders, and Jim Dalton breaks it down into the early innovators, laggards. He has kind of like all these things, these categories. There's 5 categories. Well, once everybody in the market is long.
Poor high.
Oh yeah, poor high. It's gonna go. There it is. Come on. So the impulse is from 40 to 75. So as long as we stay above 42.75, we should be able to keep rocking along. Yes, fucking bitch. Sorry guys, I'm on a tangent of explanation. You guys can see it though. You're watching your chart, so just watch the 42.75. As long as we stay above that, keep holding your long. But so you get everybody long, and now there's no more buyers, right? Nobody likes this price up here anymore. So the market has to auction down below. But if it's just algos typically trade with a trend. So what are they doing? They're like, "Oh, well, we're going up," they're buying. And these algos are what happens, and they get trapped. I think that's a lot of times who gets trapped is people that are trend traders for the most part. Nice break up here, guys. I wish I held full position there. Look at Apple. If Apple gets above its open, this thing really starts to go. Dan, you still holding that Amazon? Yeah, and so, I mean, long story short, guys, on that's basically what I try to understand is, what are my competitors doing? What are my competitors thinking? And if I'm able to, get a correct insight on what's happening, then, then we have that opportunity to make money. Eight contracts on that high tick right there. About 14 minutes until E period opens up. Getting that continuation here still. Look at Amazon here. If it gets above that 135, I think you really start seeing this thing start to pump. Premium slowing down a lot. We are traders, not pussies. Good shit, Dan. Hopefully you held on. That's good. Just watch that 135 level. You may get some selling from people on Amazon at that 135 level. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's almost up to our selling spot. No, that's only 907. So this is a release, you know, when we look at this on a big picture, this is a release of shorter term traders getting trapped from yesterday. Right? You had these shorter term traders pushing this, you know, pushing this or trying to push the market down and failing. You got a BTC long going as well? Nice. Did our alert hit for BTC? I didn't get a text. Let's see. No, not yet. I'm looking for Bitcoin to chop up above this 21.6. $110 to 1 on the put call ratio here. So a little bit of cooling off of that high here. The weekly VWAP's 146 or 41.46. Still a bid stepping up here at the 49. Let's see if it holds or how it trades at least. It just keeps reloading, it looks like, so it's still holding. I'm going to move my stop to 48.75, and if that thing gets filled, I'll just jump out right here. Not saying that it's not going to continue, it's just I'm willing to just call it right there. Okay. These are the worst spots because I already know it's going to just fucking come back tick me, and then try to test the upside a little bit more. Everything's looking strong. I'll let a couple. Yeah, so I mean, this 135 level is going to be a resistance level for Amazon for sure. That's that. Basically, they call it a call wall or the put call level. So for the most part, if this thing gets above, they're going to have to buy it back to hedge, and that could really start wrecking some market makers. Apple's about to go green. So we've seen a seller on the open all day on Apple. Let's see if they could break. Look at XL. I mean, look at every sector here, and look at the breadth. Breadth is strong. XLK is even up 0.3. Consumer discretionary, the leader of the day, still up 1.34 here. Yeah, those market makers are scammy on premium sometimes on the tech sector. Yeah, Gaston, it's not, I mean, it's not super complicated. It just takes time to understand it or kind of just get the grasp of it. I do a lot of reading about psychology, not necessarily trading psychology, but just about psychology. And I think that's probably like my biggest help, to be honest. You could ghetto spread it, Dan. Just turn it into a debit spread. Just sell some higher calls and cover the premium, and that way you can keep holding it. You know what I mean? So like if you have if you're rocking the dailies, the Amazon dailies, what did you say you have? You had oh, here's the calls here. So let's say if you've got those 135 calls and you paid, you know, whatever you paid for them, yeah, you don't need any buy power. You can just sell the 139s, and you'd get, because you're selling an option instead of buying it. So like if you think about it options wise, the futures options trade in $5 increments. But let's say when the market was down here at 134, you bought 135 calls. Well, now that we're up, and let me just I'll just pull it up on here so you can see it as well. Where is, yes. So let's say you're trading these dailies. Oh, we don't need, let's go 14. Let's say you're trading these dailies here and you bought 135 135 calls, right? And let's say
What was the question?
oh, here we go, delete this. Let's see, there's no question. I was just explaining something.
Okay.
So add the high and the low here. So let me make this smaller real quick. So if you're trading these options, right, and prices at 130, say 134, you bought these 135 calls. Well, you can see today the high on these calls, these 135 calls, is 47 quarter, and the low was 33.50. So let's say you got filled at 33.50, right? So you got filled on these calls at 33.50, but you don't want to close them. You don't want to take profit because now they're worth 48. So you're up, let's see, what's the math there? 33.50 minus 49 they're at. You're looking at a $15 profit, right? In the futures, it's actually half of that, so you'd be like a 7. But so you're at like a $15 profit, but you don't want to close it. You think it has some more room. Well, you sell these 4070s, or you find a spot that you think, you know, the market's probably not going to go above, so maybe you sell these 4080s here for 27. So you paid 33, you sell these for 27. So 33 minus 27 is 6. So now you're only in for $6. So originally you were in for, you know, $33, which is $3,000 basically, and then you sold these ones for 2,700, or yeah, these ones for 2,700. So now you're only in for 600, and you still get the opportunity to make the difference in between this 35 to 70. So you still make the premium, and if it goes over 4180, let's say the market just rocketed up past 4180, you wouldn't owe anything. You just wouldn't make any gains after 4180. That would be it. And that's like it's called a debit spread, but if you do it after, my buddy Josh on Trading Fraternity, he calls it the ghetto spread. He kind of made it up. Apple's green. Getting back above its opener, trying really hard. Hey man, is there an alternative for TOS? You could get interactive brokers. There's one like that. It depends what you're trying to get. If you're trying to get like the kind of like the layout that I have, one of our traders here, Tommy, has created something very similar on TradingView that he's posted in the Discord. Hey Joe. Still pretty strong here. Look at the triple Q's looking really strong. Apple's really trying to break that open. Like we're getting a little bit of short covering here on the 52. Yeah, of course, man. I just jump in the Discord and you know, continue to join the lives and keep on learning. So D period, leaving some single prints behind. Watch to see here, right? Like we you know, we'd like to see. We've got 3 TPOs here. This thing's really kind of giving us thoughts of a trend day forming here, as the market may have gotten a little bit too short, and that poor low was kind of our indication. Back into these single prints in this weak spots from yesterday, and that 4160 would be the target on the upside where we saw some selling come in yesterday. And think about what do we need to do to get value overlapping to higher. Well, values here, 3 TPOs. If we don't fill these single prints, there's good odds that value does continue to develop higher, and then the target becomes that 61.75. It's a tough spot if you're not in a trade right now to just get long at the highs, but you're not really seeing any indication besides Apple not breaking above its open and still running into the seller at the open. Open interest delta's up all day on crypto, Bitcoin. Poor high here. 73 contracts on that top tick. There they go. Apple's breaking the open here. Is it on the futures market? Open interest? No, you can only see open interest at the end of the day on the futures market. Dollar is coming down, but starting to just kind of chill around its open. Oil's coming back down here. Almost to my profit target too, motherfucker. The VIX cooled off a little bit, but not too much, to be honest. Like, I mean, still not below that low of yesterday. Tesla coming back down here. Amazon, like, just to the T, right? That's why we like these levels. Yeah, no reason to push it, Dan, especially when we're running into a spot where typically, you know, we could see some responsive sellers start to show up above yesterday's value. $208 to 6. Microsoft really the only thing struggling here. Yeah, that's interesting too, Dan, is that they're trading pretty uncorrelated lately. When in the past we've seen them really correlate, but we just haven't really seen it yet. Look for the reaction at 41.46 here. That's where the weekly VWAP's at. You hate it? That's my goal every week, Dan. Manage risk. All right, Will. Catch you later, man. Have a good day. Yeah, I mean, I don't foresee us really, unless you start to see some massive short covering to take you back into this gap. I think that the market just balances here lower back inside this previous balance to decide leading into Friday, which is going to be the big driver of the day. Friday, most likely, Jackson Hole. You'll have Powell speaking and just kind of decide what he wants to do from there. Yeah, market just starting to slow down here. Let's look at the volume real quick. Volume still about 9% less than yesterday, so about 10% less than yesterday actually. Alright guys, well, I think I am going to call it a little bit early here. What time is it? It's about almost 12. I've still got some stuff to do at the house here and before the furniture gets here tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow there won't be a stream. We've got the furniture delivery, and then Friday also we've got household goods coming, so there won't be a stream on Friday. I will be in the Discord. If you go to the Discord, let me pull it up. If you go to the Discord and scroll down right here under trade chat, the TPO chat, there is some you know, it's just a voice channel. If you're in there, I'll jump in there sporadically. You know, we had a nice little convo yesterday towards the end of the day, and watch the market together as I'm doing some work. Finished the edging of the house yesterday, thank God, so I don't have any more of that to do. But yeah, other than that, make sure that you guys are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan, and I will catch you all tomorrow.
If you jump on Discord, will you send out an everybody thing? You know?
I just jump in and out kind of randomly. Typically there's like my uncle's in there, my dad's in there, Tommy, Pop, TJ. There's like a group of people that are pretty much always in there just kind of chatting about the market. It's not a bad idea just to jump in there and see get the different perspective. That's why I like it, because I don't really I go in there and I don't typically talk that much, just like to be in there and listen to you guys, and then chime in when
I'll see you later, Brad.
when it's when I think it's not time. All right, Dad, see you later.
All right, later, man.
See you guys.
All right, catch you guys later. Later, TJ. Later, Pop.